all across space. All across time. Mysteries that we can't understand.
Dude, this is a fucking drone, bro. There's a whole fleet of them. Look on the ASA. My gosh. They're all going against the wind. The wind's 120 knots from the west. Look at that thing, dude.
Looking into the stories and those behind them. Welcome to UAP Insight Podcast. Hey everybody, just like to welcome you all to the first UFO Roundtable on this podcast. So joining us, we have Zack Agee, director of the Vertex Foundation, and Jay, the founder, main host of the Galactic Family Podcast. Known these guys for a little while, pretty great guys, so we're going to have a great conversation. So, we're gonna start off. What is new with UFO world for you guys? We'll go ahead and start with you, Zack.
To be honest, I haven't been paying too much attention. I know this Representative Luna figure kind of reached out to Lou Elizondo recently, so I don't know too much about that, but I know that's breaking news apparently.
Yeah, so that essentially Representative Anna Paulina Luna, who's head of the Government Secrets Task Force, has been kind of going back and forth with Lou Elizondo, who's most everybody kind of knows about who Lou Elizondo is if they're into this topic. Broke the 2017 ATIP story along with Leslie Keane, Ralph Blumenthal, and I always forget the third one. But, you know, they've been going back and forth over, you know, skiff appearances. Because I believe back in April, there was a skiff scheduled with, I think, 3 days notice. And Lou was already scheduled to show up at the McMenamin's UFO Festival down in Oregon. So he wasn't able to make it. Rep Luna, you know, said to, I believe it was Matt Laszlo of Askapol, and, you know, was saying, oh, well, nobody could show up. They must have skiff flu. Fast forward to a couple of days ago, Rep Luna went on the Joe Rogan Experience and, you know, essentially started dragging that back up, saying, you know, these people, they've got skiff flu, you know, they need to come in. And shortly after, we had Lou Elizondo post on X, formerly known as Twitter, basically this email right here, where he was, you know, saying, you know, kind of, this is BS.
If you click on that post right there and actually open the whole post up, you'll find underneath of it the different posts that came after it. Yep. Oh yeah.
So it's kind of been going back and forth between them, and it's very. I mean, she essentially leaked email addresses because it was so poorly blocked out. I mean, you adjust a few settings, you can actually see right through where you can tell that she just kind of, you know, took her iPad or phone or whatever, just did the, you know, scrubbing on the phone instead of, you know, properly redacting that information. which
great job. 20 years in intelligence.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I mean, that's just kind of disappointing in someone who's, supposed to be, a representative of the American people. I am kind of disappointed that she didn't do a better job at protecting the personal information of those people. So hopefully there is some sort of resolution to this in the near future, because, I mean, Rep Luna and Lou Elizondo are both on the same side, whether they're fighting or not. The truth just needs to be brought out. We need to, get disclosure by any means necessary at this point. So what are your thoughts on that, Jay?
Well, I mean, she made the same mistake as Lou. I mean, I can't fault either one of them because Lou made a mistake, but she did the same thing right afterwards. It's like, who can you fault? You fault the person who did it, or you fault the person who did the same thing after that? You can't fault either one. They both made a mistake. I say, let's move on from this. Let's get back to UAP disclosure. This is just a distraction, people, okay? Who cares about this? Yeah, skiff flu. That's the great, acronym now going around, but who is really talking about, okay, Lou Elizondo said that almost a year ago, he had to get into a skiff, right? So you're telling me a whole year he's had to get into a skiff and he couldn't make time to go into a skiff since then? That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I do want to play devil's advocate with that, because in order for any of these whistleblowers to get into a skiff, they have to pay out of pocket to travel to DC. They have to pay for their own housing. They have to pay for their own transportation, and that can add up to, thousands of dollars, especially if you're only being given, 3 days notice to appear in the skiff.
True.
Kind of makes that a little more difficult, and especially, if you have other whistleblowers, like say, like if Jason Sands was asked to come into a skiff, he lost his job because he blew the whistle. He's lost his clearance.
I'm not saying like that. I'm saying you've got Lou Elizondo that is now you're telling me he doesn't have the money from his book deal, from his everything else deal, that he can get into a skiff. Tell me he does not have the money to get into a skiff, man. Come on.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. Now
I understand.
Plus, he just opened up
3 days.
Bar.
You give him 3 days and stuff notice. I understand that. That's not acceptable. I don't accept that. You give him more notice than that. Give him a 2-3 month notice. But here's the thing that UFO community hates: put up or shut up. If you're going to say these things, get your butt, and I won't say the other word, into a skiff and prove it.
Yeah, absolutely.
The only thing stopping these people from telling everything is a piece of paper saying they can't talk. They could talk if they really wanted to.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's, and, with Lou Elizondo, he's doing all this back and forth, but he's also, just opened up a bar or restaurant in Wyoming, and, it's, I understand, that might take up a fair amount of his time, but if he really wants to push this issue, then he needs to, coordinate better with the people who are trying to get to the bottom of it, from the current in government perspective.
And stop the high school fighting, like on X, no less. Like that really got me though. And that's like high school stuff. Like, I'm going to go on Facebook and I'm going to post about you. Like, That's what Lou did. First post, boom. No, I was going to do. Okay, I understand. She didn't mention his name in Joe Rogan. However, if you go months back, she does mention his name in passing when they were talking to different congressmen and stuff about the skiff flu, and then putting that together with Joe Rogan's podcast where she said skiff flu. You can put the names together with that. I understand, but you don't come out on X to spew your stuff about why you're not getting stuff done.
Yeah, absolutely.
Probably
So
has something to do with Majestic 12.
Hey,
yeah, so Zach,
What's up?
what do you think of the Majestic 12 resurfacing fairly recently?
I mean, it makes sense, right? It was a huge wave in the 1940s and 50s. Majestic 12 came out. They started handling shit. They go away for a while. They fade into the background. Another wave starts happening in recent years, and they come out of the woodworks. And I think they just try to play damage control somehow, and they're in the position to pull all the strings, and we're just left here picking up the scraps.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you on that. I'm hoping that this time there's so much, pressure from the public that maybe there's a chance that, we can push out the Majestic team and, bring in true transparency for this.
That would be nice.
Yeah.
Another thing here is that she claimed that Luna. She claimed that lawmakers have seen evidence of interdimensional beings, and I'd want to see what evidence they saw.
Yeah, which I mean that when I heard that kind of just blew my mind. Like,
man,
have you just heard hearsay about interdimensional beings? Because it's been in the public for a while, people talking about it, but I've never personally, seen any evidence that can push that one way or the other. And her coming out and saying that on what is the #1 podcast in the world as an official representative of the United States, that's like Jay said earlier, put up or shut up. I want to see that evidence.
Yeah,
me too.
So some UFO news actually just dropped. Ross Coulthart is saying that Patel, the industry Patel, is now investigating if whistleblowers have gotten extinguished at all. I can't say that word, so I'm going to say extinguished instead. But
extinguished, unalived.
Yes, because that just dropped on YouTube about 2 hours ago. Bombshell. Ross Coulthart drops UFO bombshell again. Patel investigating whistleblower unalives. They're investigating all these cases of people that have been unalived and mysterious circumstances. I'd like to see that report.
Yeah, I mean, it's so.
I have evidence that Amy Eskridge was targeted by directed energy weapons from the Russians. I have text messages and images of her hands burnt, her blinds melted.
Yeah, that's absolutely insane.
Weapon,
I mean,
right?
that's.
I've heard
that would
from
be
someone very close to the family that the neighbors heard her screaming and begging for her life, and then 2 gunshots went off.
Oh, jeez. Yeah. So let's go ahead and play the clip of Ross saying that. So let's go ahead and get that ready to go.
That is crazy.
and intensity of admissions by the US administration. There are so many people who are now admitting that there is a there. Senior whistleblowers coming forward, but also people in government. You've got Kash Patel, the head of the FBI, has pledged transparency, and he's got a secret investigation going on into allegations that people have been murdered to protect this secret. The volume and intensity of admission.
Yeah, so, I mean, that is just kind of... Ross has been saying a lot of things lately that, you know, are kind of controversial, you know, talking about how the Tic Tac is a Lockheed Martin product. And, you know, the supposed massive UFO that's buried under a building. That, you know, people in the last week, you've had this journalist come out of left field saying, I'm giving you, you know, 3 hours or whatever to fess up where this is, or I'm going to spill the beans. And then, you know, Ross saying, well, no, you're wrong. It's not there. And she was essentially saying that there was like a giant UFO that crashed in a golf course near a military base, and then there was, you know, like a requisition for like millions of dollars to expand like very shortly thereafter. Which I don't hold much credibility in that, because the New Fork report that she referenced was a singular witness event, no follow-up, no evidence behind it. Which,
well, that kind of, yeah, I wouldn't imagine there'd be evidence, because I remember the original claim from when that whole story came out was not in the US, and it was a building or some kind of complex that was a part of a excavation site turned into a building that's also laudable, quote unquote, laudable. So
yeah,
it being a military base makes no sense with the original claim.
Sent you a clip, Ray. That's what Ross had posted, an older clip, but he had posted that after that girl had posted what she had posted. So
let's watch it.
Yeah, so yeah, I just gotta save it and then.
Oh yeah, you're good. Take your time, man. Yeah. Yeah, that's what Ross posted afterwards, after the other clip that was played from her. She was like, I demand you get a hold of me. I'm sorry. I mean, you got to give the guy more than 3 hours. I'm sorry. Even maybe he might not even be in the United States. What the hell? You know? I don't think that was right. I really don't. Give the guy 24 hours.
Yeah, at a minimum, you want, you know, like a couple of weeks.
Well, yeah, but if you're doing like real short notice, at least a day, you know, for them to say something.
Yeah. So, all right, I've got the recording all ready to go for that original Ross clip. So let's go.
People have been saying, "Oh, you come out and just say it, Ross." Well, fuck you. I'm not going to say it. The bottom line is, why the hell should I say it? I'll say it when I'm feeling good and ready, when I've got my ducks lined up in a row and I've got my ammo and I'm ready. People in the UFO, UAP world seem to think this is entertainment. It's not entertainment. We're not under any obligation to tell you anything. The bottom line is, we'll report what we find when we're ready to do it and when the sources are ready to speak. And that might take a while, but I'm all about protecting sources and making sure they feel comfortable about coming forward. And that was...
Yeah, I will give it to Ross on one. When, you know...
I mean, yeah, he's not wrong. He's got to protect his sources.
When you are pressed for sources, I will give it hands down 100%. He will protect you, like your source, your name, because that's who he is. But that was pretty funny. Let me get my ducks in a row first. Like, he knows that if he comes out with it, they're going to be aiming for him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So my personal thought on where that thing is, it's very likely going to be, the Baghdad embassy. If I had to pick the one most likely place, because it is a laudable place, does laudable work for people all around the world. It's in a place that is archaeologically.
Laudable just means it's like it's like a very beautiful location. It's something to appreciate. It's something that looks good. You know what I mean? It's like I'm gonna Google the actual.
There's a lot of theories out there.
It's an action, idea, or goal deserving praise or commendation. So what makes you say that the Baghdad embassy does that, and why is there a UFO there?
Well, the Baghdad embassy, the U.S. embassy in Baghdad, Iraq, its primary goal is to, make relations better between two countries that have been, at each other's throats for decades now. It was built, I think, 2004 is when it was completely renovated, just after we had entered Iraq, and I think Saddam Hussein was in hiding by that point. And it's a huge complex. I mean, I think it's several million square feet. And they completely essentially remade a section of land from, just your standard, Middle East, not a whole lot of green, turned it into a lush paradise, built this massive actual embassy house on it. And, this was right around the same time that there was reports coming out that, supposedly the tomb of Gilgamesh had been found in Iraq. Which I know was talked about during the WikiLeaks scandal with Hillary Clinton a few years ago. And if anybody is familiar with ancient history, so Iraq was essentially like the center of the Sumerian Empire. So they had Uruk and all of these other cities, like the great big ziggurat of Ur. I mean, all of that within like a 10 to 15 mile radius of where modern day Baghdad is. So, it would make sense that would be an archaeologically rich area. In order to build that embassy, they would have had to conduct an archaeological study, just due to international law. So, what did they find during that archaeological study, the survey, before they actually laid the foundation?
It's an interesting location, and I'm going to say why here in a second. If can I share my page on here? Am I able to? I think so.
Yeah.
Hold on. I just want to show you something here. This is the Baghdad embassy. You see it?
Yeah.
Now, this is what caught me. Okay. Look at the river, right? You see it?
Yeah, the way it just kind of loops.
But now let's turn off terrain mode. Hold on, not that one. This one. Where did the river go? That's ground.
Yeah, so
that's underground. The river's underground then.
Well, zoom in more, isn't it right there?
There's the river.
Yeah, so I think Zach's right. If you zoom in even more, you can kind of see where the actual
That isn't a river, though. That's dirt.
So that looks like a river bed. So as though they
dried up. Yeah. Yeah. Look, no, right there. See, look, zoom in.
There's even a tractor trailer there, dude.
No, look, zoom in right there where the dark color is.
Look where the tractor trailer is.
Right.
Yeah, that's there.
So,
That's there. They're filling it in. Look where the tractor trailer is, and then I'm gonna turn it off. There's a river right there where the tractor trailer is.
I think that map's a little off. So if you zoom in, zoom in.
That's rock.
Go down.
That's rock. That's water. Yeah,
right there. That's the water, and it goes through.
Yeah. So
I think it's just off a little bit.
This is off.
Yeah, I think it's just off a little bit. It looks accurate to me.
Yeah, and I would say that it's very likely that at that top section they dammed it off in order to increase the amount of available space.
Probably,
that's
yeah.
what it looks like from a.
Or they need the water for cooling.
Which, I mean, that is also a possibility depending on what kind of computer systems they have in there. You know, if you need to have a massive amount of cooling power for, you know, servers or something.
I just thought it was odd that they were filling that whole freaking thing in. Other than maybe they do need more space and more land. Yeah, you're right about that. But I don't know. It just shows the river.
I want to know what's under the ziggurat.
Same spot.
Yeah. So the ziggurat of I mean, I think that is, you know, I think it was in the 70s or 80s, Saddam Hussein wanted to restore the ziggurat. Because before it was like just kind of all crumbled, beat all to hell. And, you know, now it's been restored. You can see what it would have looked like, you know, 6,500 years ago. At least from the outside. I don't know if they let people inside of it. I don't even know if the inside is accessible, or if it ever has been. I'm not too familiar with ziggurat structure, but I do know that, you know, there's going to be a very large amount of archaeological evidence in and around that structure that, you know, might change the story of human history.
Hey, brother, you want to go visit the ziggurat? There's actually an apartment building right next to it.
I wish. Yeah,
there's an apartment building there. There's not much. I'm looking at it now on the maps. Apartment building, a public bathroom, a parking lot, place of worship. Oh, that one says site under research.
Yeah. So if they're currently researching, what are they researching? Hopefully something.
Yeah, it doesn't say. It just says
fascinating.
Archaeological site under research, but it's on the right-hand side of the road. It's not going up to the ziggurat. It's on like going to the right of it. Oh, yeah. I see what they're looking at. There's like different, like, okay, yeah, I see.
You guys want to talk about that UFO video that's been going viral with the man playing fetch with his dog on the side of the hill?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You're talking about the arrow. It looks like an arrow being shot, but it's not.
Yeah. So let's see if I can find the video here. Here we go. So. So yeah, you can just see it just fly right by there.
Yeah,
and I mean that. I think the more that I've watched it, the more I think that it's, you know, a bug or something flying very close. I mean,
that doesn't look like a bug.
Nah.
That moves way too fast to be a bug. It's not shaped like a bug.
Arrow. It's an arrow.
I would believe it's an arrow. Someone's shooting an arrow before I believe it's a bug.
Yeah, look at the shape.
Yeah, so I mean, I think whatever it is fascinating. Let's see if we can pause it. And
aren't there okay, there's orbs, but there's also rods too.
Yeah.
Whoa, right there.
Yeah.
Go up one more. Right that. One back.
You can use the arrows, I think, to skip frames.
There we go.
Now it's not black in the back. It's all silver, it looks like.
Yeah, it does appear, though, as though it's kind of wobbling back and forth. So
what are they talking about? Rod UFOs and orb UFOs, like rod ones are the straight ones, but they could be bugs, like you said. But that's not a bug.
Yeah. So whatever it is,
like the cigar-shaped UFOs.
No, they're called rods.
Yeah.
The rods. Those were debunked back in like the early 2000s as being bugs being filmed on low-resolution cameras.
Well, that looks like a rod. It's all silver.
Without the actual metadata, I understand this was filmed in, I believe, the UK.
Yeah, Malvern Hills.
Yeah. So,
what's AI say with it? Because you can get Grok or one of the others to analyze, can't you?
Yeah. So what we'll do,
people are saying it was by the Royal Air Force Base, or a Royal Air Force Base.
Yeah, see if you can tell us.
Yeah, so I think it is like 15 miles or so from.
Military technology up there a little.
Yeah, so I mean, it's possible that it might be something as mundane as just an arrow flying by, or it could be something.
I mean, I've seen the rod videos, and the rod videos are they're debunked because you see a rod and you see like a little like haziness on the
wave.
A wave on the side of it, and that wave that's the fluttering or something of its wings when it's flying really fast past something, So it looks like a rod, but that don't have no wings, but it does look like a rod.
Yeah, I mean
but it's wobbly. As it goes, it has to wobble or something.
Yeah, I'd believe it's an arrow before a bug or any kind of
arrow. I'd say 10,000. That's not an arrow. Mach 30. Who's shooting it? The Hulk?
So
but it also, I mean, it doesn't show. There's no notches on it. There's no arrowhead. There's no, there's no signs that it's an arrow.
Wait. Could it have been? See if it could have been launched from a potato gun or something. I don't know.
I don't think that's flying from a potato gun.
Dude, those potato guns fly fast as crap if you get enough gas in there. I'll throw something 5 miles away.
Yeah, so...
But no, I don't think it's going 10,000 miles an hour, though.
Yeah, for it to be going
10,000 miles an hour... Is that the analysis on it? 10,000 miles an hour?
Mach 30?
Well, if right here... It's, saying if the object were distant, like in the far sky, its estimated speed would be 10,000 meters a second.
Up like this.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think it's likely, we could probably figure out what it is if we really wanted to. But I think this one is
worth it.
The unresolved.
Yeah, I'd say leave it unresolved. I don't think it's worth
unresolved for sure.
Yeah, more study into this. We need metadata. That's the one thing.
Yeah, and there's no, good metadata associated with this
and
citing this case.
Video.
Yeah, And
I hate the ones that are like 10 seconds and you're like, yeah, that was AI.
Yeah. So, I think next, we should talk about the 2026 UAP Disclosure Act. So Senator Schumer and Rounds reintroduced this, I believe, just at the end of July, on July 29th, as a addition to the 2026 defense budget, as an amendment to essentially, some of the things in here are, very specific. Like, for example, Section 5, subsection B, prepare records for transmission to the archivist for inclusion in this collection, for referring to like records of UAP. They did include several times, like Section 10, disclosure of recovered technologies of unknown origin and biological evidence of non-human intelligence. So just the fact that this is the third year in a row that this has been reintroduced, makes you wonder, okay, they're hearing something that we're not. There's a reason that this is, being pushed for a third time, especially now without the Mike Turner from Ohio, from Wright-Patterson's district, being there to block sections of this, specifically things like eminent domain, or, even just the general inclusion of this. So I think it's important to, make sure that you're taking the time to call your senators, call your state reps, and, say, hey, this is something that we want, we deserve, we need to know the truth, whatever it is, whatever comes out of this. It's not going to do any harm to national security to be more transparent with the American people in a responsible way.
And hopefully by doing this, it'll make other countries come forward with what they know. Like Russia,
Absolutely.
China, Australia, Japan, Germany.
That's what we need.
The UK for sure.
Yeah, I mean, the entire Five Eyes alliance, I mean, they're waiting on us to have the balls to do this first.
Honestly, I don't think they should wait. I think they should just do it.
Yeah, catastrophic disclosure. I mean, that's...
Let it all out.
Yeah,
Rip the Band-Aid off, man.
Yeah, rip the Band-Aid off. We don't need to be, stepping on eggshells,
if
on this
people
subject.
go insane from UFOs showing up in the sky, let them go insane. They'll be fine in about a year.
Yeah, I mean,
they just got to get used to it.
Yeah, I mean, so many people have already seen UFOs and not even realized it. It's, and of, everyone who's ever seen a UFO in the last, 5,000 years, probably less than 0.1% have reported it.
Yep.
You have, clear back, I think it was the Pharaoh Akhenaten, father of King Tut, had a sighting that was recorded on an actual, the wall of a temple or something, and it's like, okay, wow, they're talking about this, in 1700 BCE, like what was that? Then you fast forward, to 1600s in Germany, and you have this depiction of all these orbs and like arrowhead shaped craft in the sky as though they're fighting, and clear up until today, we have verified footage from the military of all sorts of different objects, ranging from, silver orbs, which are exactly like that 1600s painting, to, the whatever the gimbal was and whatever the Tic Tac is. And, if it does turn out that, like, the Tic Tac, for example, is Lockheed technology, as Ross Coulthart has been stating lately, great. Roll it out. We don't need to know exactly how it works, but we do have a right to know that we have it. Imagine the morale boost that our military would get if they knew, hey, we've got this thing that kicks so much ass that, all we have to do is say, okay, well, Joe over here is going to get in his Tic Tac. We're going to go drop a deuce on Moscow's front door and come back home and, enjoy our McDonald's for dinner.
I just sent you that website, brother. Sky Canada came out with their UAP report. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. 2% of Sky Canada's reports are unexplained out of, let me see how many that is. 757 cases. No way, hold on. Yeah, 756.
Yeah, so figure 2% of 756, that's...
No. I meant total number, and then to 2% is 756.
Okay.
That's what I was doing.
Yeah, so 756, and that's just what is reported.
That's 2% that's unexplained. The rest were explained, I guess.
Yeah, which I tend to agree that the vast majority of sightings are, just things that are misidentified. I was a little hesitant to accept the arrow explanation of the Puerto Rico object. But, lately I've been a little more confident in that assessment, because I've had the chance to speak with people who were actually researching that. And, they tend to agree, yeah, that one likely is the balloon explanation after further research. And, which is unfortunate. That was one of my favorite ones.
Yeah.
But it is what it is.
Yeah. I mean, if it's fake, it's fake. Let's get rid of it.
Yeah. Yep. And, that's another thing. So by the end of this fiscal year, so before October, so sometime in the next month and a half or so, Arrow is going to be releasing, according to John Kozlowski and Tim Phillips, have both stated that Arrow is going to be putting out a public reporting mechanism. So they have it all ready to go. It's just going through the final checks of, government paperwork, essentially, before they can release it. But it's very likely that in the next 5 to 8 weeks, we'll have that public reporting mechanism to help get rid of the bias towards, defense sites.
Yeah.
Which is one of the biggest issues that Arrow is dealing with right now, because they know, yes, these things show up a lot around our sensor sites, but we need the sensor sites that aren't, where we have our sensors. We need people out there crowdsourcing this, because once you crowdsource information on this level, get a whole of country approach instead of just whole of government, that's when data starts collecting. And when the numbers are going to skew, you have all these things that are currently, explainable or whatever. But once, you get, one guy from Ohio, one guy from Yakima, both reporting very similar things in the sky at the same time. It's like, okay, well, it's probably not a weather phenomenon at that point, considering you're, 2,200 miles away from each other. But, then we can start to narrow down, okay, well, it's not weather, so that's out. What is it? And it's hopefully going to be a very good thing for the overall topic, but we'll just have to wait and see. Depending on
if it's
how
led by the government, it probably won't lead to much. But if it's led by the public, actually forming citizen science groups, doing this kind of investigation all across the country, working together, we'll get some answers. Because the government shit's not giving us answers. They haven't given us answers for the past 100 years.
Exactly.
They've killed people. Stop the answers from getting out.
Yeah. And we don't need
the government. It's going to be from hands-on, on the boots, groundwork, like you're doing, Zach.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Absolutely. So, in other words, Zach, why don't you tell us a little bit about this expedition that's being planned, if you're able to?
Yeah, I won't go too much into the location just yet, but at least not publicly yet. But we're putting together CE5 tests. I've designed the experimental designs. We've got all the equipment planned. We've got the location set. We've got the dates set. We've got pretty much everything we need except the time to get here so we can leave and head out. We're going to be going to the location, setting up. We're going to be running tests for about 5 days. We've got the entrainment audios. We've got all the different kinds of dossiers about the different non-human intelligences that we might encounter. We've got some good stuff coming up, so just stay tuned for all the kind of data that we're going to be publishing.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm excited to see what comes out of it.
Mm-hmm. Me too. We're hoping to get some data published probably early next year once we get everything put together. As far as doing the CE5, yeah, we've got a great team. We've got people who can claim that, they can summon some things. So we're gonna test it out.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think that's the right way to do it is, take these claims, see if it's true, I mean, that's
put them to the test.
Put it to the test, feet to the fire, get the data out there, whether it works or not.
Yep, that's what science is all about, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's all about the evidence.
Yes, for sure. So I think that's all we've got the time to record for today. So I just want to thank you guys for coming on, and hope to have another roundtable here in about we'll say just in time for New Year's. How's that sound?
Sure, sounds good.
Yeah,
absolutely. Hopefully we get a good October surprise this year. Not sure what it's going to be, but definitely.
If anything.
Yeah, last year was kind of a dud, but this year hopefully something. I haven't heard any rumors on it yet, but
I'm sorry. I stopped listening to dates and everything when people started
so
saying
did I.
2020 this, 2020 this, 2030, 2036.
July 18th.
July, yeah. I'm like, you know what? When it comes, we'll know.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it'll come right around the same time that we find out.
Right. It'll just be a shock.
Yeah. So, all right, guys, we're gonna go ahead and wrap this up, and next one will be right as an alien comet crashes into Earth.
All right. Can't wait.
Oh, God.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Bye.
But it wrapped in red tape chains. The cosmos whispers, but they won't share what they've stolen out of thin air. Classify the stars, shut out the light, cloak the day and steal the night. The answers hover just out of view, but they're hiding it from me and you. What's up above? They guard so tight, but shadows break in broad daylight. Our curiosities ignite their fear. Let the truth cut through the veneer. Classify the stars, obscure the truth, hide the keys to eternal youth. But one day we'll look and finally see the universe isn't meant for secrecy.